Yo, what's happening? Patrick here, back with another video. And in today's video, we're gonna do something different. For a good reason, I didn't put anything up about how to manage your money or how to even make money. And today I have a friend of mine with me, Antoine, who's gonna help us. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm okay, I'm alright. Thanks for having me.
So today in this video, we're gonna talk about how to manage your money, how to create passive income, and all of these sorts of things. So let's crack into the secrets of making money, making that cheddar, that sweet green. So without further ado, let's do it. So I was wondering, I'm really bad in managing my money. I'm always like running short on money at the end of the month, and I really have a problem keeping it together because I'm kind of impulsive sometimes and I just want to spend it, I want to go. What would you recommend me to do? Like, what are the secrets of managing your money?
So if I understand correctly, the main thing you have is you want to spend if you get your money. You want to spend it all right away.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, there's no plan. There's no plan with your money. So that's the first thing. What I have seen. Let me introduce myself first. I'm not rich yet, but I'm safe. You know, I'm safe. So let's get that clear. So I'm not rich yet. I'm not starting some bullshit here. If there's no plan and you get like $1,000 in your hand or euros in your hand, people freak out. Okay, what can I do with the money? It has to flow somewhere, and then you will spend. So first thing, what you can do is actually make a plan what you want to do with your money. Then you come at the first place is budgeting. So you take a part of your the amount you have, and you allocate it to the things you prioritize, like, I don't know, maybe to food, clothes, or fun activities. That's one way. But the other way you can do is also have a plan to build more money. And that's actually you have to make a choice what you want to do. Do you want to budget, or do you actually want to make money with your money? And so those are two ways to actually move your money around. So if you say, I only have like X amount of money this month, I'm not really focused on making more money yet. You just allocate it to things you prioritize. That's actually the main part, first part.
How do you go about keeping like an overview of your money? Because I personally, I'm not like the type of guy who likes to write things down and everything. Is there some like nice app or some creative way of really like structuring like everything you want to spend and like put it into different accounts and such?
Well, I definitely recommend to have two accounts. So when you have a money inflow, you put just a part away for, I don't know, whatever, for whatever, and then you have an amount you can spend for the whole month. But then you have to, at the moment you have the money inflow, there's a part which is already put aside for later, for whatever it is. That would be the first thing to actually change if you want to be serious about money, or be more aware, be more conscious about your money decisions. Just take, I don't know, 20%, 10%, I don't know what it is, put it on a different bank account. Because if you want to spend that one, you have to take an extra step to get to that money. So it won't be easy to get it right away.
Yeah.
Because what people do right now is they have like a savings account, but they can, with the mobile app, you can switch it around, right?
Yeah.
Right away. So they put money aside, and then, oh damn, I want to spend more, or I just want to have an extra cash. Can I afford it? And they move it right in a second. If you have a different account, you have a different code. You have you have to log in something. It takes time, and that buffer of time and effort will help you to reconsider what you want to do.
Yeah, that's actually a smart one. It's like almost like adding an extra step to make sure that it's harder and harder for you to even reach the money, so you can't just like readily spend it. That's actually a good one. One other thing I was wondering, the thing is, most people say when you put your money on the bank that actually with the interest you get, you're not really making money, you're almost like losing money because of inflation and stuff. So actually in the end are not so good in just letting it sit on the bank. Like, what would you say? What is the best way to approach it to make more out of this little that you have already? And more like safe versions, maybe, because most of the viewers are probably students, probably just starting to work.
So you want to do more with the amount you have, because if you put it aside, there's no interest. It's not interesting to do that. That's what you're saying, right? Or
yeah. Yeah, the interest rates that you get onto the money, like the 0.01% or something that you get for your money. Actually, over time, you more or less like lose money
because of inflation. Yeah.
So, how can you take this little amount that you have and kind of in a safe way, I would say, make more money out of it? What's the best way to invest it, or how to make more out of it?
Well, if you want to talk about getting a return on investment, because that's what you're saying, because you don't want to set it aside because you get only 0.0%, 0.05%, ridiculous amounts, and inflation is more than that, so you will lose on it. That's very true. But if you want to think about how to invest the money you have, you are actually playing not the right game. Because if you want to talk about return on investment, then you have to have a certain amount of capital. So then we're already talking about building money up on what you have. So then you're playing a different game. It's very different. So then we have to consider, how do you value your money? What do you want to do with your money? Because if you let's say you go a weekend out, you're with friends, you want to drink some beers or you want to do some fun activity, that is a high value for that money, because you're having fun with your friends, you're bonding, you're having a good time. And if you're saving that money, there's nothing going to happen with it. So then spending is a good idea actually, because you get a return on it in emotional value. But if you want to talk investing with a little amount, you're playing the wrong game. You are actually you're focused on cutting expenses, and you can only cut expenses so much. You can cut expenses in eternity, because let's say rent. I don't know, let's rent 800, maybe 600. In Groningen we have 800 for an apartment.
Yeah.
Then if you go to a room, you can go to 400, 300 euros. But you can't go any lower. So you want to you want to get more out of something which only gives you more stress. So there's a point that you are playing a losing game with getting more out of the amount you have. So do you know myself clear?
Yeah. It's like almost like, would you say, instead of like playing the game of downscaling everything and trying to save as much as possible, that you in a way kind of want to approach it more that you make more money? And that's like one topic maybe that you hear a lot of people talk about. For instance, Gary Vaynerchuk, who's like, just do yard sales and like sell your stuff and then make a bunch of money, go on eBay, blah blah blah, flip shit and hustle and hustle.
But you can only sell, like if you do a garage sale, for example, you only have one garage full of stuff, so you can do it one time.
True.
You see? And if you can limit expenses or be more. Let's say we do. This month we spend less on clothing. So, but there's a point where if you cut more on that expenses, it's not fun anymore. So,
true.
So you're actually, and you have to go to, there's nothing wrong with thrift shop, because thrift shop are having good things, definitely. But you're stepping into a sort of mindset where you want to, how do you say it? Devalue your own money, right? And that's a waste, because you can the amount of effort you are spending on saving, you can put also on making money. You see, because it also takes mental energy to save. Let's say if you want to in your house, you cut on your electric bills. You want to put the lights off every day and don't leave it on. But also, if you do that for the whole year, you have your life quality goes down. You see?
Yeah.
So you have to consider those things.
How do I go about making more money, especially if I'm, let's say, time constrained because I'm already like either working or I'm a student right now. So how do I make money, like what everybody wants, like make quick money, so to say.
Make quick money. You have to go. You have to get some sales done. It doesn't really matter what, but other people have the money. Money doesn't drop from the air in your pockets. So there are people walking around, they have the money you want to get, and you give them something. So you have to incorporate sales into what you are doing. Whatever you're doing, you have to make sales. If you look at the big companies, how are they valuated on Wall Street? The quarterly earnings are based on the sales they make for those. So you have to incorporate a sales mindset. It doesn't mean you have to go to get a sales job and do the selling, but you have to sell something from yourself, like I don't know, product or what you do, service. But you have to sell something, start selling. That's the only thing. People give you money. That's where the exchange is happening. If you sell something, you get money. That's it. That's the answer.
Yeah.
To start making money.
Actually, it's quite interesting because some time back, I think already almost a year ago, I started to do some research on creating like a little side business and doing it next to my studies.
Yeah.
And I realized how much work it takes to like set everything up properly, to like have like a own company or like a little company at least, buying stuff off of Alibaba or out of AliExpress. And reselling that, so to say.
Yeah.
Like I saw how much work goes in there, and I had some resources where I could look up, like how does this work, what are the ins and outs.
Yeah.
What for you were like the best resource you can take for researching how to do this, how to sell stuff? Like what are the best books, what are the best online resources, what are the best things you learned over the time?
Well, you definitely have to take some time into or selling or marketing, because you have to reach people. Because as I said, people are the ones who are giving you the money. So find a way how to reach your audience, your customers, and then you have to understand the basics of selling. And you also said like it's hard work, right? There's a lot of work to set things up, and what I've seen is that people they go to they want to start a business. Entrepreneurship is very hyped these days, and the entry barriers to start for yourself are actually broken down by the internet. So what happens is they do an investment for the company. They buy some stuff or some stock as in goods to sell. They go to government to register that company, and they do all that work before even talking to one customer. So really have the customer in mind, because there you want to put your time in. That's where the money comes from. Everything else will work out. You will bump through things where you're missing you're missing the beat, where you're losing the sale, and then you fix that. But keep the customer in mind, keep that person in mind you're actually serving, right? Yeah. So that's the thing. So don't put your mind in the beginning on setting things up perfectly. Go to the people. Go to the people. That's the first thing. That's actually the number one tip. If you want resources, if you want to go investing, there are various books. If you want to go to sales and marketing, so there's not one book. You have to really think what information are you looking for. So I don't know if you personally are looking for some resources or specific things. Or
the thing is, for instance, back in time when I started to set this up, I was looking at Timothy Mark. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's like helping people to create what he calls a freedom business. Yeah. So a business basically that runs itself, because you're like buying stuff from someone who already distributes to you, and then you resell it. So and he was talking also about a lot of influential people in his life and so on. And I think it's always interesting to pick someone's brain to see what kind of influences are the biggest, because some people are big proponents of like really big figures like the Gary Vaynerchuk and Tim Ferriss, like the really verbal people in the internet and stuff. Is there something where you like, this is one, how to say, like one book or one source that really cuts through all of the bullshit, like gets rid of that?
I see what you're doing. I think what helped me most was seeing the people who were actually making the money. Because I know the people. Let's see. If Doug Vasil, I think about Grant Cardone. If Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Workweek. Gary Vaynerchuk, very. He's actually all the places on the internet, right? You will see him. But the thing is, you actually become more of a fan, and you want to acquire more of his knowledge. But if you see the people who are actually making the money, you will see what works, and then you say, I have to do this. Because then you're still looking for information, you're acquiring more knowledge, and you forget to act the part, right? If you see in your network who's making the money, or the way I want to make money, and you see how they do it, it activates something. If he can do it, I can do it also, you know? Maybe not the same way, but then you see the mechanics of it, and then so the influence you have to search in your network. Not only on the internet or the one book, but look around, because there are people in your environment who are making money. I promise you. You just have to look around.
Yeah, it's so true, because I also see it almost with every other skill. There is like, whether it's like socializing or if it's like getting into shape or whatnot, there's always one person in your social network that really knows the stuff that you want to know, that already has what you want to have. So it's a really good concept actually to look around in your social network, create a bigger network, and then take people as mentors, so to say.
But that also makes it real, because it's a real person who's doing it. And that's the thing. It activates something, because that's why I was first hating on you, right? I saw this man doing that. He's making the videos. He's doing it. And then, I'm here. So I'm very happy. So thanks for being here.
No worries, man.
Yeah, so that's it. Let's look around on your social network.
Yeah, true. Also, like one thing I always say, like what you said, it's like I always call it like silent teachings, because I can see that a lot of people, like when we exchange knowledge, I can hear what you say directly, like the knowledge or the information you give me, but I also see how you behave, the way you carry yourself. I can always take something away from things you don't say, like the non-verbal behavior.
Exactly.
Like we always say, like 80% of communication is non-verbal behavior, and it's true. It's like the silent teachings almost that you take away those. We were mentioning Gary Vaynerchuk and Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss, really influential character. Also with him talking a lot about passive income. He always talks about how can you take yourself out of the equation to make money without you even working, or making the money work for you. What is your whole perspective on that whole topic?
It's passive income is very important if you want to make money, because if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So you have to have a passive income source. But we have to put it in perspective, because the first time I heard about passive income, you think you don't have to do anything. Passive, and the money comes to you, right? But there is a whole process behind it before it is set up. So passive income definitely a must-have. You have to work on it, but you have to set it up. So the thing is, you exchange your time for money. That's where you start. Time for money, but you only have 24 hours in a day. You have to eat, sleep, whatever you want to do. So you cannot leverage it at a certain point. Maybe you can increase your wage, your hourly wage. But then we are talking about doctor, lawyer, long-term time perspective. And still then you're limited, because you only have 24 hours. So you have to see passive income as equity building. And what I mean by that, equity is ownership. Ownership or equity, you're building equity of a certain product which you put out. You publish something which people can access whenever they want, without you having to intervene. that's why ownership is so important. Let's say if we look at the music industry, you see they drop like a song, and it's out there. They own everything, but people can listen all the time whenever they want, and that's something you want to set up for yourself. So if you're thinking about if you think about something, you have to put a product out there people can actually have access to without you interfering. So that's the thing.
It's almost like the concept of drop shipping, where you have, like, for instance, you have like a product that you offer, and then you do the marketing, you do like the sales and everything.
Yeah.
But then comes the point that you've done so much that you remove yourself so much that people just click on ordering, and then the order goes directly to the distributor, and it goes to the house, so to say. And that's the only thing that I always had in mind. That was like the one thing where I'm like, okay, that makes sense. For me, it's always like going from a large scale, so from a scale of like a whole business of like a musician or like a label, record label, to go to, but I'm just a guy who makes music, for instance, or I'm just a guy, for instance, who makes those kind of videos.
Yeah.
How do you recommend I make this step in the first place? Because maybe I know how to build it up, but I don't know how to get out of it and like remove myself.
Well, you have to differentiate yourself between doing the technical aspect of the job. Let's say we take McDonald's. If you're flipping burgers, someone has to flip the burger. So at first you are flipping the burger yourself and baking the bread. But you have to identify all the steps in the process of making the burger, and then see what the job is to do. So you have to the job of making the burger. Somebody else can do that. You have the job of taking the order. Someone else can do that. And you have maybe the job to actually give the burger, or the first one can do it. But then you make segments of the production line. And that's how you remove yourself, because first you have to do it all by yourself. But then you can replace yourself by somebody else to do that part of the job. So you have to think about how the production is set up and make it a job, a specific job. That's the best way I can put it. But if you want to talk about dropshipping and people have to click, dropshipping is very specific. I don't know. I'm no expert on that one. But see it as a process which you can make segments of it to replace yourself from doing it and instead of managing it.
Yeah, from what I can gather, I can see you're like more the type of person who just looks at systems, or who looks at people and tries to dissect what is happening, what are the people doing that are successful, what are businesses doing that are successful, and try to get your little bits and pieces of information out of there, which is I think it's a really smart move to do, just to have that insight into another person's brain. It's like almost the way I think in terms of psychology.
Yeah.
Some people just see like a random fact of psychology and they're like, I don't know how to apply it, but I always look at a person's behavior, try to analyze further. So we kind of do the same thing, although we're in totally different fields.
Yeah, okay.
That's pretty nice to see, actually.
You're absolutely right. That's true. You have to dissect it if you want to know, because if you want to build on that, you have to know how it works, and then you can work with it in case that it work, that you do the work. If you understand what I mean?
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So passive income, definitely a case you have to invest some time in it, to see how it works, which passive income streams fits you. Also make that choice consciously, because not everything is right for you. But having a passive income stream is a must. It's the only way to acquire and make more money, even while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Yeah, especially nowadays when with the internet and social media and everything, we kind of have to take advantage of it, because otherwise it would be like money like just thrown away. Like
it costs you money if you don't do it.
True.
Yeah.
So far, pretty interesting actually. Is there something like some closing remarks, something you still want to talk about, something you want to give to people as like a call to action or anything?
Yeah. Well, my call to action is stay broke.
Stay broke.
Because the first thing I had when I was starting to get my money in check I tried to cut expenses. Okay, the first step was for me watching where the money was flowing. What was I doing with my money? So I became conscious of my spending behavior. But at a certain point, you cannot cut expenses anymore. So the second thing was taking like 20% from every income I have, put it aside, and then pay all my bills. And what I had over was for me. But if you start it out, there comes a moment you don't have any money, and when you don't have money, then you will hustle. Then you will find ways to make money. You will find ways.
Yeah, kind of like the leveraging yourself just to do it.
Yeah, just to do it because you have to. Because then you're hungry, man. At some point you are hungry and I want to eat. So that's the takeaway I want to give you with that.
See, guys, just stay broke. Stay broke, and you're gonna make money. You're gonna find a way. Hell yes. Good one, man.
Good luck and good for being here.
Nice, man.
Right.
Okay, to wrap this all up, here are the main takeaways of money. The ins and outs and the inside scoop, really, how to manage your money and how to make your money and how to overall build wealth. So here you go, buddy.
All right. First step: track your money. Know where the money goes, because if you're not tracking, you don't know anything. So first track it, then start to make sales, because there are people out there who are having your money. People are the ones who are giving your money. And the third one is build equity, ownership. It's making a product so you can sleep and people can buy your stuff.
Always remember, stay fucking broke, man.
Stay broke, man, because if you're hungry, you will hustle the hardest. And then it's okay.
That's it. Peace out.